Today, the Ivan Toney could be on his way to Chelsea Football Club. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe. Have Chelsea finally got the number 9 that they have been looking for? Ivan Toney. Mr. Saudi Arabia has come calling, but now Chelsea have come calling. Premier League proven, 28 years of age. Is this the right signing for Chelsea Football Club? This is the thing. We've got to put it out there. This guy is a goal scorer. Nicholas Jackson is not a goal scorer. Will Ivan Toney probably bag 20 Premier League goals for Chelsea Football Club? Yes, because he would get chances. He will put them away. But you've got Pedro Neto, you've got Cole Palmer, you've got Madueke, João Felix, all these people feeding him, also contributing with goals. I'm not going to lie. What I see Chelsea doing here, it fits perfectly. Now, when we look at Ivan Toney, let's look at the situation, right? He's been left out of the Brentford squad, and that's been for the first 2 games of the season. Hasn't even played really in pre-season. They gave him a little clap, a little welcome back, but he's not touched the pitch. Now, Brentford have got Kevin Schade, who's come back from injury, and he's going to be playing up front or on the wing. They've got Igor Thiago, that has signed from the Belgian league. He's got injured. He's out for a couple of months, but they signed that striker as a ready-made replacement for Ivan Toney. Now, let's be real. Ivan Toney probably waited for an Arsenal to come in for him in January. Didn't happen. There's been rumours about Arsenal were going to come in for him in the summer. Hasn't happened. He's held out for a bigger move. Went to the Euros. Nothing's happened. And now you're getting linked to Saudi Arabia, where, okay, you can go out there, earn some good money. And, if you want to do that for your career, I respect it. Cool. You got to make your own life. You know what I'm saying? Or you stay in London, West London, where Brentford is. You go to Chelsea Football Club and you play with all these ballers under Maresca, a new regime, and you try and get Chelsea back to the top. Now, let's make it clear. Ivan Toney's already said, I love Didier Drogba. I love the way he plays. He could go to Chelsea and become their version of today of Didier Drogba. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as him, but when you think of styles and profiles, making fights, boxing, whatever sport it is, Ivan Toney fits the shoe of Chelsea. Now, when you look at it, Ivan Toney 2 years ago, 2022-2023 Premier League season, 33 appearances, 20 goals. Obviously, last year was a bit of a mishap. He had the ban, of course. He came back, and the form wasn't great. He scored in his return, the free kick. But other than that, 4 goals last year in 17 appearances. Now, that's not something that, Toney would be proud of. But I think we can put that to the side and look at the season before, what he does. And what I think he does for Chelsea is also important. When you look at Pedro Neto, he can play on the left and right. He can get beyond players. He can run on. You've got Noni Madueke, another player that can cut in on his left foot, but also can deliver a ball. You've got Cole Palmer, plays number 10, plays out wide. You've got João Felix. You've got players that can contribute with goals and assists. Now, I think Toney can also get the best out of them. The way he can drop into the pockets, feed Pedro Neto running on, even players like Mudryk, who've got the pace to, accelerate past opposition defenders. João Felix for the little combinations, the little 1-2s. And Cole Palmer, someone that can slip him in behind or even do little combinations in the 10 pocket. I think Toney contributes a lot of that. Now, I don't think Toney's one of them strikers that's going to get in behind and, he's going to fully dart in like a Jamie Vardy. He doesn't do that. However, he can still do that. And that's what I think helps Chelsea. When I look at Dominic Solanke going to Tottenham, for example, I always said he helps, Heung-min Son, helps Maddison, because Maddison's got someone in front of him when he looks up. But also he drops in the pockets and Son can make that dart in behind like he used to when Harry Kane was there. Now, the same players can do this at Chelsea. Toney can drop in, hold the ball up, give and go to Felix and Palmer, and then the other wingers can then dart forward. Or Toney can get in behind where them 3 attackers can play intricate in the pockets, and Toney could be on the shoulder of a defender. And in that way, he's either getting brought down for a penalty or he's getting a shot off on goal. And let's not forget, one of the biggest weapons in Premier League football over the years that's probably not used as often as today, and that is heading in the box. Now, Toney is physical. He knows he can outjump a lot of defenders. He's got the rough and tumble in him. He wants to put his neck on the line. He's a striker that he wants to get the tap-ins. He wants to get the ugly goals. And that can be the difference between 3 points and 1 point sometimes. And for me, Ivan Toney gives Chelsea that outlet. We just said Noni Madueke cutting in onto his left foot. Pedro Neto doing both on either side. You know, Yao Felix has got a great delivery on him. Cole Palmer, the same, cutting in and delivering a ball. Enzo Fernandez, who, yes, has to have a big season, he can deliver a ball. Now, you know, Reece James, when he's back, he can deliver a ball. You're looking at Cucurella, he can deliver a ball. And when you've got someone like Ivan Toney in the box, hunting and sniffing around, it gives you another creative outlet. So for me, I think this move would really be a positive step for Chelsea. I think when we're looking at a fee, a year ago today, you're probably looking at 70 million for Ivan Toney. 2 years left on his deal then, before all obviously the scandal came out. You're thinking, okay, Brentford can make very, very good money. He was 27 back then. Yeah. But now you look at it, 1 more year left on his deal, not in the Brentford squad at the moment. They've already signed a striker to come in and replace him. 1 week left in the window. I think Brentford are in a position now where they want to get rid, and Chelsea are in a position where they want a striker. Maresca has made it clear. There was Victor Osimhen that was being spoken about. Now, Victor Osimhen, Napoli a year ago, exactly the same as Toney, but they wanted 120 million. PSG are not paying that. Other clubs are not paying that. Now, Victor Osimhen wants to leave Napoli, and now they're probably going to have to accept a fee of, 70, 80 million if a team even come in and make that offer. I don't think Chelsea go for Victor Osimhen, even though I do think he'd be a good fit. They do love an African striker. He is strong. He can run in behind. He's dynamic. He's athletic and a very good age. But apparently he doesn't want Chelsea. So the next best fit is probably Ivan Toney. He's already playing in West London. He's British anyway. He knows the Premier League. He's experienced in all the leagues of, the Football League. So he's got the rough and tumble. I think Chelsea could look at maybe 40 million. I think that gets Ivan Toney. And if you look at today's market and spending 40 million on a striker that's 28, in his prime, coming in ready to play and start, won't cause a fuss if he's rotated, because obviously Chelsea got the Conference League, they've got Nicholas Jackson, they've got Felix, and they've got options. I think it works for all parties. And I think one thing that would stick out for me at Chelsea, which I think the fans would like, is players with a good mentality. Ivan Toney believes in himself. That's whether I think he's an amazing striker or not, that's irrelevant to someone like him, because he wants to prove himself. He wants to back himself. Like, I've always said that I think Ivan Toney's a good striker. Do I think he's a great striker? No. But do I think he's a good striker? Yes, because he's got the fundamentals to do everything and he can get goals. I think if you get the right players around him, he can really make it work. And we've seen it at Brentford. Him and Mbeumo have been doing their thing for the last 2-3 years on the counter-attack, working as a combination, playing as a front two, which actually we don't see very often. And I think that's something that, Chelsea could, have to do in games if they're chasing a goal or, they're throwing on players to try and, win a match. You can play Toney in the front too. So I think it does really work there. And, we've seen the John Obi Mikel situation with Nicholas Jackson. Now, look, my opinion on Nicholas Jackson is that he's a player that does offer something. He works hard. He runs the channels. I think Chelsea are a better team when he's actually playing. But then again, you're then let down by the finishing. And that could be the small margins between winning and losing or drawing a game. Now, obviously, you can do the off-the-ball stuff. You can run the channels. You can make your team look better. But then when you get the big chances in front of goal, which is what you're there to put away, if you're not missing them, if you are missing them, they outweigh all the good work that you've been doing. So I feel like what Johnny Obi Mikel was saying in terms of getting more of an experienced striker in, someone that can help Jackson, someone he can rotate with, maybe Toney fits that, because he's not going to have the biggest ego. He's going to understand this situation if they're rotated or one starts and one doesn't. They can help each other. And I think with Toney being 28 and Nicholas Jackson in his early 20s, I think it's the perfect sort of combination that can help, get Chelsea higher up the table. And this is the thing I have to look at. If Chelsea go and sign Ivan Toney, what are their aspirations? That's the question I want to ask you guys to put down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe, and let me know what Chelsea's aspirations should be if they sign Ivan Toney. Because we're talking about a Premier League striker here that was linked to Arsenal last year. Even Liverpool fans wanted him instead of Darwin Núñez at times. Man United fans are still calling for, the club to make a bid now because they're not happy with Xerxes and Hoyland and saying we can't get enough goals out of them. So if Chelsea now have an attack of Nkunku, Neto, Madueke, Yao Felix, Palmer, Jackson, and Toney, with Enzo, Lavia, Caicedo behind, what should they be looking at? Because I had Chelsea as top 4 competing with Man United. That was my predictions at the start of the season. We're only 2 games in now. But if you look at Chelsea now, you look at Liverpool, yeah, they still got Trent, Salah, and Van Dijk, who were the 3 mainstays in that team. But then if you took them out and look at the rest of the team, would you say Chelsea's on par or better than theirs? Should Chelsea maybe be looking for 3rd? Could they make a sneaky run for the title? Because when you look at it, I think Chelsea beat all the teams that are below them in the Premier League because they outscore them. Just like we saw against Wolves the other day, 6-2, 5-3s, 4-2s, games like that, because they were outscore teams. When they come up against the big teams like Arsenal and Chelsea, even United, Spurs, some Newcastle away, for example, Villa away, they might come a bit stuck because sometimes it's not just about outscoring teams. You got to see what you can do as a team and, getting through gritty moments. That's going to be the test. We don't know that yet. They played against Man City and I thought they were good at parts. But let's see what they do in the other big games. But against the minor teams or the teams that they should be beating on paper, I think Chelsea outscore them. So where should Chelsea be aiming if they get Ivan Toney? Now, it's only been reported by Sky so far that Chelsea are interested in the Brentford striker, 28 years of age. Like I said, I think 40 million would be a good deal for Chelsea Football Club in his prime, and he gets goals, with the players creating around him, with his physical presence, his hold up, his finishing in the box, Premier League proven. I don't think there's many negatives in this deal. Now, will Chelsea get it done? We've got a week to find out. Stay tuned. Never a foul. Like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Big up.